Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 4 of Stranger Things. All 200 hours of it, in the 9 episodes that they released over 2 parts, and jokingly, obviously, because the Duffer brothers did not make a 50-hour show, does feel like it at times, though, because these episodes are meaty. It's like an hour and 5 minutes bare minimum, hour and 10 minutes bare minimum, most of which are an hour and 30. And the last one's 2 hours and 20. It is longer than long movies. And this season, in many ways, offers up some of the best Stranger Things. There is some legit horror. There's amazing effects. The stakes are high, and this is quite the impressive show at this point. There's such a giant ensemble, though, that it's kind of hard to balance everybody, even in the 50 hours of show that you get in here, because there's definitely some characters that feel wasted. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Will doesn't get a whole lot to do except for, like, alluding to that he's gay and really wanting to be with Mike. And I feel like Jonathan also doesn't get a whole lot to do in this. And in general, there's a couple of specific threads that are going on here. Obviously, the main focal point of most of the crew being in our crazy battleground of Hawkins during all this insanity with Vecna showing up and just disgustingly breaking people's bodies and destroying their eyes and fun stuff like that. That crew with, everybody's favorite hero, Steve, that's the most interesting. You have 11 off with some of the science people. Of course, Papa, Matthew Modine's Dr. Brenner's back. You have Paul Reiser's Dr. Owens. And I really like Paul Reiser a lot in this. Popping up in The Boys, too. A lot of fun. And there's some really interesting elements in that thread of things. It does get confusing in terms of, like, what exactly is happening, what's not happening. But those two threads really come together in some impressive ways, and setting up some really legitimate scares and twists and turns that I feel like the mystery around what Vecna really is some legit impressive twists for a television series, and really surprised me, and I really appreciated that. You have the storyline with Will and Mike and Jonathan and their new pal Argyle, who really steals the show a lot of the time. He is absolutely hilarious. And, like, they meet up eventually with 11 because they're trying to find her. But, like, a lot of the times their storyline doesn't feel like it has a whole lot of interest to it, except for some crazy shootout at one point. And then when it comes down to it, I just did not really engage in this Russian storyline up until like the last couple episodes, when things really started to hit the fan with what the Russians were really doing. And you have Hopper there and Joyce trying to make it, and Maury, who, Brett Gelman is an absolute delight in this show, and Murray is so great. He is a blast to watch. But, like, I just feel like some of these threads just weren't anywhere near as interesting as the main story going on, and felt like a distraction in some of the episodes. And felt like things could have easily been trimmed down, and these episodes did not need to be this long. But I do feel like what they were able to do with this season, with the bigger effects, the bigger story, the overarching story that brings everything that came before it together, which I find incredibly interesting how they're pulling it all together, and something that deeply connects to the beginning of the show. I feel like it's adding a lot of weight to what came before it. It's a really well thought out and planned out narrative from the Duffers, and really brings some weight and consequences. You do have some of these characters really shine. Like L, like 11, really great. I feel like Dustin and Steve still get their time to shine. Max, Sadie Sink does an amazing job this season, especially as she's caught up in this whole Vecna situation and a potential victim. And the music that they incorporate into this season, the just impressively chosen to really maximize the effect of things. And of course, there's the one song that everybody is listening to now. But there's one particular one that really got me in the final episode. But I do think Natalia, Dyer, Nancy, Joe, Keery, Steve, and Maya, Hawke, Robin really get to shine, and I really loved them in this season. Really cool cameo from Robert Englund at one point as well, in terms of their little offshoot of this story, trying to get answers. And when it really comes down to it, this is a culminating season that sets up what seems to be an epic showdown to really close out this impressive cultural phenomenon of a series. And even though there's a lot of flaws that I found in season 4, this is some top-notch Stranger Things, and I had an absolute blast when I found the time to actually watch the episodes. But those are my thoughts on Season 4 Stranger Things. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.